Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. Whether it's repainting my figures or making diorama displays, I love making things look awesome. My goal is to elevate my figures so they can shine on my display. Join my DIY venture as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Last week, I worked on a green goblin from the No Way Home wave. That figure looks pretty good out of the box, but I wanted to add the finer details. Check out that video if you want to see how I covered up the exposed neck. Here are the 3 No Way Home villains: Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Sandman. I don't know why I never noticed this, but these are the villains from the Sam Raimi Spider-Verse. So let's bring in Venom from Spider-Man 3 as well. And of course, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And the other Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Okay, this one's not that good. It was my first attempt at fixing it and it ended up really dark. The newer one looks much more natural. And many of you have suggested that I should paint it and make it into the black suit. Great idea. The only issue I'm worried about is the paint rub. Black is such a harsh color. Any scratches will be very noticeable. And it doesn't help that this figure has layers of paint on it already too. Before I paint, let me see if I can remove the previous layers of paint with water and soap. This is how I prep all my figures. A quick clean using warm soapy water. Oh, would you look at that? The paint is not coming off. And I'm not being gentle too. Okay, there's a bit of paint chipping on the knees, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty cool. I've always wondered just how scratch-proof my painted figures are. This figure is quite protected due to the layers of varnishes on it. But I wouldn't say it's 100% scratch-proof. It's still good to know that the varnishes do help. Let's paint the entire figure black first. I'm trying to keep my layers of paint thin, to preserve the suit's texture as much as possible. But I feel like I'm gonna end up covering up a lot of the finer details, especially if I want it black. Oh, I actually quite like how it looks all black. It looks premium. It makes me want to skip the webbings. But I can't. So let me first add a thin layer of matte varnish over the black to seal the paint and add a barrier between the webbings and the suit. This should also make the black look a bit more rubberized too. Alright, on to the webbings. I really like how they look on my other Tobey figure, so I'm gonna do the same and use a gunmetal color. I think the key to nailing the symbiote suit is to get the tones right. When I look at the older figures, they always look weird to me. The web lines are too silver, too shiny. In my opinion, they should be more muted, almost like a frosted dark gray. What's interesting is that the gunmetal color looks much brighter against the black, but it should still work. Okay, I don't know if I'm getting rusty or if my hands have gotten more shaky. My lines aren't as clean or crisp as I want. I'm gonna have to do a bit of touch-up later. The good thing is that the suit is black, so it won't be too difficult to clean up the lines. I think another issue is that because there are already layers of paint on the figure, the web lines aren't as defined anymore. On the original figure, the webbings stick out quite a bit, making it relatively easy to paint. Certain areas on this figure have lost its definition, so I have to redefine the lines a bit. Okay, almost there. Just gotta paint the spider symbols too. I'm using the same gunmetal color on them. Oh, the eyes. I hate doing them, but I think this helps. I'm gonna darken the eyes a bit with silver so they aren't bright white. Alright, I'm happy with how everything looks so far. Let me seal it a bit more with the matte spray. Okay, I'm gonna try something. This may not work, but I wanna try. I'm gonna add a bit of muscle definition back to the suit. Kinda like what I did to the other suit. But this time I'm adding highlights instead. I want this to be quite subtle. because the extruding webbings make it quite hard to blend. I should have done this before I did the webbings. Oh well. That didn't really work. Let's add some shine to the eyes with a glossy varnish. Alright, it's finished. Here's Black Suit Spider-Man, or the Symbiote Spider-Man. What do you think? Let me know down below. I like how it turned out. It looks pretty good. But I don't love the mask. Something just looks off. Maybe it's the shape of the head? Or maybe it's the eyes. It just doesn't look exactly how he did in Spider-Man 3. I actually really like this with the Tobey Maguire head. It is giving Bully Maguire. All he's missing is his signature hairstyle. Which suit do you like more? Normally I would say the symbiote suit, but I have to say this classic one just looks so much cooler here. I've done a pretty good job. It is one of my best customs. But back to the black suit. The paintwork would have been a bit cleaner if this were a fresh figure straight out of the box. There are at least 6 layers of paint on this figure, and some of the finer molded details are gone. That is also why I won't be posing this figure much. There's a very high chance that the paint will rub off, especially around the elbows and ankle joints. There aren't a lot of gaps around those joints, but I'm not too bothered by it. It still looks pretty good, and I can see them releasing an actual version of the Spider-Man black suit figure in the future. You know what's really cool? I now have a collection of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man figures. Actually, they're more like variants, but still very cool. I never thought I would have these figures. Alright, let's end this for the photo shoot. Turns out, this figure isn't exactly a statue. I can do some basic poses, but the paint on the elbow joints does rub off a bit. I did have to do some touch-up in between some poses. So that means I won't be able to do the iconic web swinging pose. It's just too risky, but it's okay. He looks just as awesome doing basic standing poses, especially when paired with other characters, like Venom. I love how these two look together, even though they never share the screen. It just works, you know? You can never have too much symbiote. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give it a like and subscribe to see more content like this. And as always, stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.